beyond. At the first OIC Summit on Science and Technology held in September 2017 in Nur-Sultan, Kazakhstan initiated the establishment of the OIC 15 group, which unites 15 leading Muslim countries in the field of science and technology to promote the potential of our Ummah in these areas. This year, Kazakhstan intends to hold a meeting of ministers of the OIC 15 group member states responsible for education, science and technology. This step would also again demonstrate the need to consolidate efforts in the development of our own advanced science and technology as an important factor in achieving peace and prosperity. Distinguished colleagues, today many countries, including the Islamic world, are facing acute issue of ensuring food security due to the complex of geopolitical situation in the world and climate changes. Many countries in Africa and Middle East are sounding the alarm and are requesting our help in providing essential products. Some countries are experiencing famine due to the crop failures last year. We are ready to cooperate in this area and consider it important to revitalize the Islamic Organization for Food Security and to use its potential to ensure access to food supply for countries in need. To date, 36 of the 56 OIC countries have joined this organization, and only 17 countries have ratified its charter. We call on the members of the OIC to actively engage in the activities of the International Organization for Food Security. Last but not least, I invite distinguished delegation to support the resolution on granting the Organization of Turkic States the observer status in the OIC, which will be discussed this afternoon in the special committee. As a founding members of this organization, Kazakhstan is interested to enhance cooperation with important international organizations such as OIC. And we believe that strong partnership between OIC and different Asian regional organizations will increase the Islamic solidarity in the international arena and open a new avenue of cooperation. Availing this opportunity, I would like to inform that recently, on the 12th March this year, there was the early presidential election in the Turkmenistan, which, according to the international observers, was held in the fair, free and competitive atmosphere. As a result of election, His Excellency Mr. Serdar Berdimuhamedov, with the support of 73% of the electorate, has become a new president of Turkmenistan. Also, I avail this opportunity to express on behalf of the Asian group the heartfelt congratulations to the government and the people of Pakistan on the occasion of the 75th anniversary of the independence of the Republic. And I wish peace and prosperity to the brotherly people of Pakistan. In conclusion, allow me to express the hope that all OIC will continue to advance its goals and objectives for the benefit of the entire Muslim Ummah. I wish all participants fruitful work at today's event, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your insightful remarks. I now request His Excellency Mr. Othman Jarandi, Foreign Minister of the Republic of Tunisia, to make his speech. He will be speaking on behalf of the Arab group of the OIC member states.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. معالي السيد عمران خان الوزير الأول لجمهورية باكستان الإسلامية،
Imran Khan, Prime Minister of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, Excellency Shah Mahmoud Qureshi, Foreign Minister of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, we congratulate you on your chairmanship of this session and for the celebration of your Independence Day. Highnesses, Excellencies, Excellency Mr. Hussein Ibrahim Taha, Secretary General of the OIC, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Arab Group, I'm pleased to extend my greetings to Shah Mahmoud Qureshi, Foreign Minister of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, for the efforts deployed to consolidate joint Islamic action. I also extend my thanks to the Republic of Niger for its excellent chairmanship of the previous session of our Council. I should seize this opportunity to hail the efforts made by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the chair of the Islamic Summit. I extend my thanks to Mr. Hussein Ibrahim Taha, the OIC Secretary General, for providing support to Arab states to further enhance the organization. Highnesses, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the holding of this meeting under the motto of building partnerships reaffirms our need as an Islamic group more than ever, our need for having a joint confrontation of the challenges that we are facing as a result of the serious rapid changes in the world and the need to contain them in order to promote peace and security in the world and in our Islamic and Arab region in particular. Our organization has a weight and needs a joint position in order to address the various international and regional issues on the basis of the principles and the values that bring us together and which we share. These require an urgent solution to all the causes on the basis of the same international standards. The Arab Group reiterates the need to identify a political settlement to all the crises witnessed in our region and to make our voice heard and defend our causes in the international arena. This will deal with all the attempts that aim to destabilize our countries. The joint ties between us and our commitment to the values of justice require that we need to fulfill our responsibility to the Palestinian people to end the daily Israeli violation of the rights of Palestinians and the promotion of the settlement policies that will reduce the possibility of a peace and reduce tension in the region. The Palestinian cause is at the forefront of our concerns. We call for a resumption of the peace process and the settlement of the issue on the basis of international resolutions and on the basis of the Arab and Islamic position. The same applies to Jammu Kashmir. Here, we need to implement all the international resolutions. It is a just course, and there is no doubt about that. The same applies to Yemen, and here we call on Yemen to go for a dialogue to settle the issue. We thank the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for the valuable efforts in this regard. Terrorism and violent extremism are a common enemy that destabilize our countries. This requires further vigilance and more effective coordination and cooperation in order to use the preventive measures and to adopt new approaches to face this scourge and the trans-border organized crime such as illegal migration and trafficking in humans. On the other hand, we need to adopt modern digital communication means to face Islamophobia and the discourse of hatred and extremism. And we need to work together to promote the discourse of tolerance and the acceptance of the other. We need further cooperation among the various partners to convince others about the just cause of our causes and to promote the principles of understanding on the basis of the peaceful cohabitation between peoples. Highnesses, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, reinforcing peace and security in our Islamic region in the face of the exceptional challenges such as COVID-19, and in order to be able to deal with the Ukrainian issue, all of this requires further partnership at the economic and developmental levels, and our Arab financial institutions need to make more contributions, and the same applies to specialized organizations working in these areas. The aim is to achieve the set objectives, to promote trade in the Islamic world, and to activate tourism, and we need further initiatives to promote our economies, such as the OIC investment initiative. In this, we rely on the cooperation between the private and public sectors in order to benefit from our abilities as men and women, and the use of all the available resources to promote innovation in the various critical sectors that enable us to be part of the world economy. Mr. Chairman, Highnesses, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, our determination is firm to contribute to a modern reformist policy of our organization that will enable us to upgrade its role in order to consolidate cooperation among member states. The aim is to achieve dynamics in the various parts of the organization in its economic, political, and development roles. We believe that the challenges we are facing at the moment require consolidating cooperation and consultation. The OIC and the League of Arab States, and we need to open up to other organizations in our region with a view to mobilizing more support to our causes in the international arena on the basis of the principles of the UN Charter and co-living with a view to a world that is more just and prosperous. May Allah make us succeed in our endeavor. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Excellency, for your inspiring statement. I now request His Excellency Mr. Zubairu Dada, Minister of State for Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Nigeria, to make his speech. He will speak on behalf of the Africa Group of the OIC member states.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Your Excellency, Mr. Imran Khan, Prime Minister of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, Your Excellency Makhdoom Shah Mahmood Qureshi, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan and Chairman of this session, Your Royal Highness, the Foreign Minister of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Honorable Ministers, Your Excellency Ambassador Hussein Brahim Taha, the Secretary General, distinguished delegates and other invited guests, gentlemen of the press. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is for me indeed a great honor and privilege to speak today on behalf of the African Group on the occasion of the 48th session of the Council of Foreign Ministers of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, holding in this beautiful city of Islamabad. We are indeed humbled by this singular honor. Let me at the outset convey the sincere appreciation of my delegation and that of the entire African Group to the government and the people of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan for the warm reception and generous hospitality. And we also thank them for the excellent facilities that have been put at our disposal for the success of our meeting. We wish to congratulate the good people of Pakistan on the celebration of the 75th anniversary of independence of Pakistan. We wish you more peace and prosperity. Permit me also to congratulate you, Mr. Chairman, for your unanimous election to steer the proceedings of this session. And in the same vein, I wish to commend the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Brotherly Republic of Niger for the numerous accomplishments during his chairmanship of the previous session. I further take this opportunity to welcome on board our new Secretary General, Ambassador Taha, and to assure him of our full support and a fruitful and successful tenure at the helms of our common organization. Your Excellencies, distinguished delegates, the 48th session of is taking place at a crucial moment in the history of our organization. The huge socio-economic and humanitarian challenges posed by COVID-19 pandemic, coupled with the rising wave of political and security crisis in parts of our member states, call for our concerted efforts and joint action for durable solutions. It is obvious that our immediate preoccupation should be directed towards fashioning and implementing a robust post-COVID-19 recovery plan to respond to the needs of our people. And to this end, we reiterate our support for the commendable endeavors of the OIC aimed at addressing the various conflict situations and flashpoints, particularly in Africa. The menace of terrorism, insurgency, banditry, small arms and light weapons, human and drug trafficking have continued to militate against the peace, security, stability, human rights, social cohesion, and indeed the economic development of the entire African region. And this is why we welcome the choice of the theme of this session, which is Partnership for Unity, Justice, and Development, which we consider very apt and indeed very relevant. We believe that the 48th session will do justice not only to the numerous issues on this agenda, but also adopt appropriate and implementable resolutions to address our common and pressing challenges and fast-track recovery in our member states from the COVID-19 pandemic. Mr. Chairman, for the past 12 years, Nigeria and indeed the Lake Chad Basin countries have continued to suffer from brutal acts of terrorism led by Boko Haram and lately ISWAP. The activities of these enemies of peace, unity and progress and development have created a very serious humanitarian crisis in our region. In Nigeria alone, we have over 3 million people that are displaced and are living in IDP camps. In Burkina Faso, we have about 2 million people that are also living in IDP camps. The OIC must not abandon these people. They are in dire need of your assistance, and that is why Nigeria has proposed a new draft resolution on this subject for your kind consideration and adoption. And we hope that the OIC will extend its full solidarity to these people with a view to alleviating their plight. Furthermore, a robust implementation of the relevant OIC resolutions on combating the Boko Haram and other terrorist groups in West and Central Africa, and indeed some parts of Southern Africa, and support for the operations of the G5 Sahel Joint Force will significantly assist the ongoing national and sub-regional efforts towards addressing these lingering security problems in our sub-region. This measure would, if of necessity, also include the comprehensive review and execution of the OIC Code of Conduct on Combating International Terrorism, 1994, and the OIC Convention on Combating Terrorism. We further urge for concrete collaboration and partnership with the national agencies of the member states, including the Saudi-led Islamic Military Counterterrorism Coalition, in order to stamp out this menace that is facing our countries. Your Excellencies, distinguished delegates, beyond the active measures needed to counter terrorism in our region, the mobilization of funds for the various national social and humanitarian actions are crucial to the rehabilitation and radicalization efforts in the affected countries. Equally significant is the need to address the economic root causes of insecurity in the African region. In this regard, the implementation of the OIC resolution on the recharge of the Lake Chad, which has lost over 80% of its water, would contribute to the restoration of the various communities in the Lake Chad Basin and return millions of people to their lost livelihoods. Similarly, it is our conviction that the agenda of OIC on peace and security can best succeed if we establish meaningful partnership with the United Nations, the African Union, and other sub-regional groupings in Africa on conflict prevention, conciliation, mediation, and peace building, as well as the promotion of good governance and democracy. And closely related to this is the need for granting debt remission and relief for our countries, especially the least developed countries that represent more than 1/3 of the OIC membership. Mr. Chairman, poverty remains one of the major challenges confronting Africa, and the pandemic has sadly further aggravated the situation. To create a better and more sustainable future for our people, strengthening intra-OIC cooperation to harness the enormous resources and potentials within our member states is key and essential. Equally vital is the need to boost intra-OIC trade and commercial exchanges as a bedrock for our economic cooperation and a means to further enhance South-South cooperation. We regret to note the drastic decline in the volume of intra-OIC trade, reported from 700.1 billion in 2019 to just 552.8 billion in 2020, amounting to about 21.2% decline. We applaud and encourage OIC efforts in capacity building and skills acquisition development, as well as the promotion of research and innovation, especially in the areas of agriculture and food security. In this regard, we support the adoption of the OIC Plan of Action on the development of strategic agricultural commodities and underscore our commitment to play a central role in the implementation of programs on wheat, rice, and cassava as part of our endeavor to promote agricultural cooperation. Already in Nigeria, the central bank-supported Anko Borwa's program has produced the desired result as we have drastically cut rice importation and have attained the first position in rice production in Africa. Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, as we commend the OIC for its sustained interest in Africa through the various IDB initiatives, which include the Islamic Solidarity Fund for Development, the Islamic Development Fund, and the Special Program for the Development of Africa, we call for additional mobilization of resources in order to achieve the target capitals of these funds and programs. And we also reiterate the importance of the Dakar-Port Sudan rail project and the need to accord it the due attention it deserves because of its enormous economic impact on the continent. Mr. Chairman, before I close, let me reaffirm on behalf of the African Group our full solidarity with the people of Palestine, as I also restate our support for the cause of Jammu and Kashmir people. We commend the Islamic Republic of Pakistan for its sustained commitment to the ideals of the OIC and pledge our support to its chairmanship. We also wish the 48th session of the Conference of Foreign Ministers very fruitful deliberations. I thank you for your very, very kind attention. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Thank you, Excellency, for very valid observations. I now invite President, Islamic Development Bank, His Excellency Dr. Muhammad Salman Al Jasser, for his statement.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أفضل الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. Your Excellency Imran Khan, Prime Minister of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. Your Highness Prince Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud, Foreign Minister of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the OIC Summit Chair. Your Excellency, Mr. Makhdoom Shah Mahmood Qureshi, Foreign Minister of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. Your Excellency, Mr. Hussein Ibrahim Taha, Secretary General of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, Excellencies, representatives of the OIC member states and representatives of all other countries, distinguished representatives of the fellow multilateral banks and UN agencies, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allow me to begin by expressing my utmost appreciation to this esteemed session of the OIC Council of Foreign Ministers for designating building partnerships for unity, justice, and development as its theme, which is most pertinent. We cannot overemphasize the importance of partnerships for realizing our vision of prosperity, development, and solidarity. As an institution committed to sustainable development, the Islamic Development Bank recognizes that partnerships are the key enablers for socio-economic advancement. To continue to respond to evolving development needs, the Islamic Development Bank is firmly committed to supporting green, sustainable, and resilient infrastructure the foundation for higher productivity and growth. The Islamic Development Bank is also investing in inclusive human capital development and social infrastructure through investment in health, education, nutrition, and job creation. For the bank, solidarity means strengthening partnerships and cooperation among the member countries in all possible areas to enhance their collective economic development. To achieve this goal, the bank has introduced new modalities and initiatives to strengthen economic linkages among its member countries. The programs under IDB's regional cooperation and integration, supported by our private sector group entities, aim to scale up regional integration projects, intra-OIC trade and investment levels through cross-border projects and trade corridors. Excellencies, distinguished guests, the establishment of the Afghanistan Humanitarian Trust Fund is a strong message of solidarity with our brothers and sisters in Afghanistan. The 17th extraordinary meeting of the OIC Foreign Ministers, held in this great city on December 19, 2021, asked the Islamic Development Bank to establish, operationalize, and manage the fund to channel humanitarian assistance to Afghanistan in partnership with other international and regional stakeholders. I am pleased to update that the Charter has been signed with the OIC. This is the first but very pivotal step that will pave the way for operationalization of the fund. The IDB is strongly committed to ensuring strict policies and guidelines to govern all of the fund's activities. Accordingly, we guarantee utmost transparency in all aspects of the fund's activities and adherence to the relevant international standards and best practices. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, given the gravity of the challenges facing Afghanistan today, no single entity or institution can tackle them alone. Instead, there is a consensus that the international community needs to collectively provide a holistic, practical, sustainable, and comprehensive solution, learning from the lessons of the past and leveraging the strengths of all stakeholders to address these daunting challenges. Since last December, the bank has had continuous coordination and consultations with the OIC, development partners, humanitarian organizations, and donors. We have also consulted with countries interested in supporting the Afghani people. We are committed to benefiting from all relevant experiences and exploring potential cooperation opportunities to ensure formulation of an impactful partnership to undertake collective efforts to achieve the fund's objectives. Since 76% of the Afghanistan population lives in rural areas, a primary focus of the fund will be to save lives by preserving rural livelihoods. An integrated, holistic approach is proposed to be adopted to ensure that the fund's limited resources are deployed most effectively to yield maximum developmental impact. We are also keen to leverage local community development councils, especially in rural communities, to design and implement various initiatives under the fund to enhance local ownership. We are committed to working with all our partners to break the prevalent vicious cycle of poverty and initiate a virtuous cycle of hope and self-reliance in the country. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, depending on the fund's funding amounts and possible replenishments, a comprehensive phased approach will be adopted to promote long-term peace and stability. This can be achieved by enhancing agricultural productivity to promote food security, ensuring access to quality education, especially for females, provisioning of health care facilities in rural communities, women and youth empowerment, as well as facilitating rural electrification. The fund, in close coordination with our partners, is also actively exploring potential opportunities to leverage the private sector to support the humanitarian efforts, especially by focusing on creating meaningful employment opportunities in agro-business through supporting micro and small-medium enterprises. The Islamic Development Bank is also ideally positioned to provide the necessary platform for neighboring and regional member countries to play a positive role by optimally leveraging the IDB's South-South cooperation program. Benefiting from the experience, expertise, and knowledge of several OIC and Islamic Development Bank member countries, the Islamic Development Bank, under the overall umbrella of the fund, is keen to facilitate the capacity building in key sectors such as banking and finance, medicine, and agriculture. We expect Islamic finance, particularly Islamic social finance instruments such as zakat, to play an essential role in facilitating resource mobilization and successful delivery of the programs. We look forward to the generous support of all OIC countries, international, regional, and bilateral organizations, the private sector, and philanthropists. The success of this fund will not be of credit to a single individual, entity, or institution, but to all of humanity. I reiterate the Islamic Development Bank's continued commitment to work closely with our partners and the international community to fully synchronize all efforts to ensure we collectively deliver sustainable support to Afghanistan, fostering resilience and self-reliance. Excellencies, distinguished guests, I take this opportunity to express our sincere appreciation to the Organization of Islamic Cooperation and the OIC Special Envoy for all their efforts to promote the Afghanistan Humanitarian Trust Fund globally. I would also like to thank the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for this vital initiative whereby we take the lead in helping our fellow Muslims. Special thanks go to Nigeria for being the first country to make a pledge. We are confident other countries and donors will follow suit. I also extend my special thanks to the government of Pakistan for its generosity and hospitality, and also congratulate the people and the government of Pakistan on the occasion of this 75th anniversary of independence. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. President, for your statement. We are moving closer to the closure of the inaugural session. May I request Excellencies to take your seats, and I'd like to see the House in order before I invite our special guest to come to the rostrum for his statement. Please take your seats. People standing at the back, I would request you to please take your seats. Thank you. Excellencies, today we have with us His Excellency Mr. Wang Yi, State Councillor, Foreign Minister of the People's Republic of China, as a special guest. I now request him to come to the rostrum for his statement. State Councillor Wang Yi.
尊敬的伊布拉罕总理，尊敬的库里希外长、塔哈秘书长，各位同事、各位兄弟、各位好朋友，非常高兴应邀出席伊斯兰合作组织外长会的开幕式，并有机会发表致辞。这是中国外长首次参加伊斯兰合作组织的外长会，充分体现了中国同伊斯兰世界加强交流合作的真诚愿望，必将推动我们的双方关系迈上新的台阶。中华文明同伊斯兰文明都是世界上有重要影响的古老文明，双方的交往绵延千年。 历经国际风云变幻的考验，有着深厚的历史底蕴和坚实的民意基础。友好始终是双方关系的主流，平等始终是彼此互动的基础，共赢
and mutual
始终是
benefit
相互合
is
作。
always the goal of our cooperation.
长期以来，
Over the
我
years,
们始终坚持
always
互信
committed to mutual respect and trust and support each other's core concerns.
阿尔及利亚
China will never forget
共同提交议案，近30个伊斯兰国家坚定的支持，把中国抬进了联合国。同样，在伊斯兰世界最为关注的巴勒斯坦问题上，中国的支持从未犹豫，从未缺席。我们始终坚持团结互助，致力发展，实现共同发展。疫情爆发后，伊斯兰国家第一时间给予中国宝贵的支持，中国也及时向50个伊斯兰国家提供了13亿剂疫苗以及大量的抗疫物资。共建“一带一路”已经成为双方走向发展繁荣的桥梁和纽带。中国迄今已经同54个伊斯兰国家签署了合作文件，开展了将近600个大型的合作项目，资金投资的总额达到了4000亿美元，给双方人民带来了实实在在的利益。我们始终坚持互学互鉴，守护世界的多样文明。中华文明和伊斯兰文明历史上都对人类文明做出过重大的贡献，而近代以来，我们也都受到了不公正的对待。现在，我们正携手迈上发展复兴之路。我们要大力倡导文明平等对话、交流互鉴，从彼此的悠久文明中汲取智慧，共同抵制文明歧视，共同反对文明冲突。应该说，中国和伊斯兰世界已经找到了一条不同文明友好相处、合作共赢的道路，成为践行新型国际关系的典范，对不同国家、不同文明之间如何交往提供了有益的经验。各位同事、各位朋友，面对动荡变革的世界，本届伊核组织外长会聚焦结伴实现团结、公正、发展这一主题，反映了世界上大多数国家的共同心声。中方愿意同一方一道，倡导真正的多边主义，捍卫联合国宪章的宗旨原则，维护以联合国为核心的国际体系，在追求民族复兴的道路上风雨同舟，携手同行。中国愿意同伊斯兰世界建设4个伙伴关系：一是做团结协作的伙伴，相互坚定支持彼此捍卫国家的主权、独立和领土完整，坚定支持彼此独立自主地探索符合本国国情的发展道路，坚定支持彼此维护自身的正当发展权益和广大发展中国家的共同利益。二是做发展振兴的伙伴，继续团结抗疫。下阶段，中方将继续向伊斯兰国家提供3亿剂疫苗，助力各国构筑健康防线。我们将继续加强发展战略对接，以高质量共建“一带一路”和携手落实全球发展倡议为双引擎，巩固传统合作，培育新兴亮点，助力中伊发展振兴，引领南南合作潮流，为实现联合国2030年可持续发展议程 注入强劲动力。3是做安全稳定的伙伴，中方将继续支持伊斯兰国家运用伊斯兰的智慧，解决当前的热点问题，把维稳促和的钥匙牢牢掌握在自己的手中。中方将继续坚定站在巴勒斯坦人民一边，支持在两国方案基础上推动早日召开更具权威性和代表性的国际和会，促进巴勒斯坦问题的全面、公正解决。中方将尊重阿富汗人民自己做出的选择，支持阿富汗实现包容建政、稳健治理，开启和平重建新的篇章。在克什米尔问题上，我们今天再次听到了很多伊斯兰朋友的呼声。中方和大家一样，我们抱有同样的愿望。中方也支持俄罗斯和乌克兰继续和谈，谈出停火，谈出止战，谈出和平。要防止发生人道主义灾难，要避免乌克兰危机外溢影响和损害其他地区和国家的正当权益。4是做文明互鉴的伙伴，共同弘扬和平、发展、公平、正义、民主、自由的全人类共同价值，反对意识形态划线，制造分裂对抗，坚持不同文明交流互鉴，反对文明优越论，反对文明冲突论，反对对非西方文明的歪曲和抹黑，深化预防性反恐和去极端化的合作，抵制反恐的双重标准，反对将恐怖主义同特定的民族、宗教挂钩。各位同事，历史已经证明，并将继续证明，中国是伊斯兰世界的真诚朋友和合作伙伴。我们愿意同伊斯兰国家一道，共同促进世界国际关系民主化、人类文明多样化，为构建人类命运共同体而不懈努力。最后，再次感谢巴基斯坦成功主办今天的外展会，也对巴基斯坦的国庆日表示我们最衷心的祝贺。预祝会议圆满成功，谢谢各位。
Thank you, Excellency, for your insightful remarks. We are grateful indeed for your gracious presence. I now request His Excellency Mr. Imran Khan, Prime Minister of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, to make his keynote address.